My name is Satoshi Tomomori. When I was a freshman in high school, I wrote a love letter to express my love for a certain person. It might be a bit old-fashioned, but I'm not very good at talking, so this is the best way for me. But it's my first time confessing my feelings for someone through a letter. My hands are shaking from nervousness just by writing. Yuba-san is in a classroom in a different building, so I can barely see her. But if I write a letter and leave it here, she'll definitely get it. All I have to do now is pray that she reads it. Please don't throw it away without reading it. Ayano Yuba is a popular girl in our school and is a student in the music department. She appeared a bit unfriendly and unreachable, but was beautiful and extremely talented on the piano. So many people admired her. I've only seen her in person a couple of times too, but from the moment I saw her, I fell in love. Shoot, all I did was write a letter, but it feels like I completed a huge job. I'm not even standing on the start line yet. Yuba-san is probably used to receiving confessions like this, so she might not even give me a response. Oh shoot, the fact that I asked her to give me an answer in my shoebox was probably annoying for her. Yuba-san is busy every day with piano practices too. Even before getting an answer, I was extremely nervous. But Yuba-san ended up giving me a response. No way! What's wrong, Satoshi? No, it's nothing! Sorry, you can head to the classroom without me. My heart is beating so fast. I've never been more nervous in my life. What did she say? I gathered up the courage to open up the letter. I see, I knew it. To summarize in short words, I was dumped. I've never even talked to her. Any person would answer that way if someone they didn't know suddenly told them that they liked them. It was an obvious conclusion if you thought through it calmly. For a strange reason, I wasn't too depressed about it. She turned me down, but the message expressed her kindness. She's a wonderful person. I've fallen even harder for her. Not romantically, I'm more of a fan at this point. I decided to send her another letter to tell her that I hope the best for her in her performances. Yuba-san, I'll continue to support you behind the scenes. Alright, my work here is done. I'm gonna be Yuba-san's #1 fan starting today. Now that I did everything I could, I decided to love Yuba-san as her fan from now on. But the following day, a strange thing happened. Huh? It's a letter. What? From Yuba-san? Why? The letter I sent her was to thank her, and I didn't write anything that required a response. Anyway, I should probably read it. Nothing will start until I read it. I see. The letter I sent her was a fan letter rather than a love letter. She wrote a response to that fan letter then. How polite of her. This letter does feel like a private correspondence. But she did mention that she doesn't want a relationship at the end. So she's making it a point that she doesn't see me that way at all. The letter that Yuba-san sent me mentioned the following.
Thank you for your response. I didn't know of you because we study in different buildings, but I'll remember your name from now on, Tomori-san. I'm still a baby and not experienced enough to have fans, but it makes me happy to hear that you're out there supporting me. However, I do not want a relationship.
The bad thing about me is that I want to respond after receiving a message. I wrote this during my lunch break, so I'm gonna put it in her shoebox. If possible, I want her to know a little more about me. That's what being a fan is about. Which is why I wrote a small message for her too. The following day, she gave me another letter. She ended the letter by saying she doesn't want a relationship again, as expected. But thanks to this, I feel like I know a little more about what Yuba-san is thinking. I see, if I don't persistently ask her to date me, she's okay with exchanging letters. Alright, I'm gonna be pen pals with Yuba-san starting today. Even after becoming a third-year student, our exchange of letters continued. I didn't know when I would receive a response, so I was always excited to check my shoebox. She still ends her letters by saying, I don't want a relationship though. Does she think that's the normal way to end a letter? Yuba-san tends to be a little more detached from reality, so I feel that might be possible. Maybe I'll ask her about it next time. Even after almost 2 years of exchanging letters with Yuba-san, I've never actually seen her in person. Yuba-san was a famous musician, and I knew that she was busy. As her fan, I didn't want to do anything to get in her way. I mean, it's mostly because I didn't want to do anything to make her hate me. Even though it was through a letter, I was probably the only person in this school who was able to interact with Yuba-san so privately. I don't want to let go of this privilege. And just like that, I became a third-year student. It's a fresh start. I'm gonna work hard with my new classmates. There wasn't gonna be much change in my daily life. I decided that I'd at least keep my feelings fresh and stepped foot into the classroom.
Oh, it's Tomonori-kun!
Is that the guy we've all been hearing about? Oh wow, he's real.
Huh? What's going on? I've never been surrounded by girls like this in my entire life. They're all girls I've never been classmates with, too. Are my classmates pulling a prank on me?
Tomonori-kun, you've been writing love letters to the same person for a while, right?
I see, that's what they're talking about. Because my exchange of letters became a norm, I stopped being cautious of it and started writing in my classroom during breaks too. Someone in my class probably saw it and told their friends about it, which is why girls from different classrooms know about it. I'll let my guard down. This means that everyone knows I've been continuously turned down over the past 2 years.
We were all talking about it just now.
You're a really loyal guy for doing that for 2 years.
What, loyal? I was in trouble. The rumor that Satoshi Tomomori is a loyal guy spread around campus, and because it was so rare in this day and age, I became popular. I started receiving confessions from girls almost every day. Gosh, I'd be okay with it if they confessed their feelings normally, but why is everyone telling me how they feel through a love letter? Either way, the only person I love and have always loved is Yuba-san and Yuba-san only. I feel bad because they went through the effort to write me this, but I knew firsthand how painful it was to be turned down. I spent a lot of time thinking about how to turn every person down and wrote polite responses to each and every letter.
The reason my heart started to beat every time I stood in front of my shoebox was because of Tomonori-kun. I wonder if there's a letter today. The exchange of letters that started after I turned Tomonori-kun down had lasted for almost 2 years. It wasn't a constant exchange, but I received a response at least once a week. It's been over a week already. He's a bit slower than usual, but I had expected that there would be a letter today. There wasn't a letter. It's already been over a week, though. He's never been this late in sending me a letter. He kept writing me even after I turned him down so many times. Every time I ended a letter, I wrote that I didn't want a romantic relationship with him. Did he not like that? But why would he stop writing to me now? My problem wasn't about whether or not I liked Tomonori-kun. I just didn't have much free time. I had piano practices upon practices every single day, so I couldn't even hang out with friends. If I were to be in a relationship with someone, I'd only make them upset. That's why I had to turn everyone who confessed their feelings for me down. Besides, I've already turned him down in this love letter, so it's only normal that he stops responding to me. So it was special that we continued to exchange letters, but I didn't think I'd be so upset that I'm not receiving a response. Tomonori-kun's letters were probably my one motivation for my tired self after practice. There was a sustenance that only Tomonori-kun's letters could provide. Huh? Where am I? By the time I realized it, I had walked into an unknown area. I feel like this is the building for normal students. It's where Tomonori-kun is. It's not like I wanted to see him. I never came to see the building for regular students, but it's still part of my school campus. I'm just here to sightsee.
It's Yuba-san, the musical genius!
Why is she in this school building? There's only normal people here.
I finally arrived in front of Tomonori-kun's classroom. I came all this way. I feel like I could focus more on my practice if I see what Tomonori-kun's classroom looks like. I looked into the classroom thinking that I could see the real-life Tomonori-kun, whom I've only talked to through letters, but... Tomonori-kun, did you read my letter?
I wrote a response. Here you go.
Aw, he turned me down.
Obviously, Tomonori-kun is loyal after all.
But it's still a polite response.
As expected from a loyal guy. He's different from the rest.
What do I do? I spent so much time writing these responses that I haven't been able to write Yuba-san a love letter recently. Yuba-san continuously turned me down, but I'm sure she didn't hate our letter exchanges since she always gave me a response. That's why I was able to continue those letters with her. I don't want to receive any more love letters, but I can't just tell these girls that directly.
What is that? He's surrounded by so many girls. I thought Tomonori-kun liked me. Was he lying when he said that I was the only girl he liked? Tomonori-kun!
Oh yes, I'm Tomomori.
Are you really Tomonori-kun? It's you, right?
You're Yuba-san, right? We've never seen each other in person over the 2 years that we've been exchanging letters, so both of us were hesitant about whether or not we were talking to the right person.
Gosh, you two. You're both correct. You're both real.
This is Yuba-san, and this is Tomonori-kun, okay? But what is Yuba-san from the music department doing in their nest for normal students?
That's because Tomonori-kun isn't loyal at all. I wanted to give him a piece of my mind.
What?
You're surrounded by so many girls. Were you lying when you said that you liked me? I didn't know what kind of person you were in class because we've only interacted through letters. Who would have thought you were such a player?
Yuba-san, calm down. You've got it all wrong.
Yeah, Tomonori-kun is loyal.
Tomonori-kun turned all of us down. He said that the only person he likes is you, Yuba-san, and wrote each of us a letter to turn us down.
But he stopped writing me letters.
That's because I was busy writing letters to turn them down. Yuba-san, I'm so sorry. I haven't had time to write you letters recently.
Yeah, Tomonori-kun is receiving love letters from the girls in the other classrooms too.
It seems like he was writing responses to them too.
I see.
Yuba-san, did you come to this building because of that?
That's because I was excited to receive your letters too, Tomonori-kun. I was worried because I suddenly stopped receiving a response.
During lunch break, the girls in my classroom pushed me to eat lunch with Yuba-san. I'm sorry about my classmates. I know you're really busy.
It's okay. I can make time if you want to.
Yuba-san was always focused on her piano practices, even during her lunch break. So I never had the chance to ask her to eat lunch with me. No, those were just excuses. I was strangely satisfied with being able to exchange letters with Yuba-san. I was satisfied with that half-assed comfortable relationship that I never gathered the courage to ask her.
Tomonori-kun? Are you feeling sick?
No, not at all. There's no point in feeling regret over that anymore. Yuba-san took time out of her day to see me. I have to make this a fun lunch break. The girl I was with was Yuba-san, the girl who was out of everyone's league after all. It was normal to be nervous. But strangely, I'm not nervous. In fact, being with her feels so comfortable. I know Yuba-san's hobbies and what she likes because we were exchanging letters. So I don't have to run out of topics of conversation.
Oh, the bell.
I guess we have to head back. Happy times go by so quickly. Seeing Yuka-san in person and talking to her created a whole new change inside of me. Exchanging letters isn't enough for me anymore. Yuba-san, if you'd like, can we have lunch together here whenever you have time? We can go with your schedule and when you're free. I enjoy exchanging letters with you, but talking to you is also really nice.
Sure. Even if it's every day, I'd love to have lunch with you.
What? Oh, that makes me happy. But what about your practices?
I've been making an effort not to overwork myself too much, because that's what you told me in your letters, Tomonori-kun.
I do remember getting ahead of myself and writing something like that. Oh, but did you think it was irresponsible for me to say that? I'm not in any sports teams or focused on something, so I didn't have any right to say that.
Not at all. I didn't damage my health because of you.
I see. Then next time, tomorrow? Let's meet here.
Okay, got it.
Thank God you didn't say no.
It's not like I say no all the time, you know? I guess that's how he sees me. I used my piano as an excuse to always say no. Since I devoted a lot of my time to practice, I now had a little more free time to spare. The reason I don't want a relationship is because I'm busy. My reason is becoming a bit unconvincing.
As promised, the two of us started to spend our lunch breaks together. So, that happened during class yesterday.
Really? Tomonori-kun, what's funny?
Oh, I was just thinking about how our speed of communication is so different when we're talking in person. I was feeling hesitant in our letters because I had to choose which topics to discuss and couldn't talk about everything I wanted to. But now, I feel like I'm able to tell you everything I want to say.
Me too. I always thought I was a quiet person.
She does give off that kind of impression, but secretly, that was one of the reasons she was popular.
But now, I'm surprised that there's so much I want to talk to you about. Sometimes I feel like I'm going to lose my voice after I talk to you, Tomonori-kun.
You think you're a pianist and not a singer. Talking to Yuba-san was so fun, but we were only able to talk during our lunch break. She's still extremely busy after all. Speaking of, we haven't been exchanging letters as much ever since we started talking. We've been communicating a lot more through text too. I wouldn't have to be popular as the old-fashioned guy anymore. Yuba-san's slightly upset face caught my attention. Yuba-san, what's wrong?
No, it's nothing. I was just thinking about how I should have met you earlier if talking to you was this fun. We're already in our final year of school now. We'll be graduating in less than a year. I'm planning to go to a music university, so we won't be able to hang out like this anymore.
Yuba-san. In that case, I hesitated for one moment, but I had to say it now. No matter what. Yuba-san, I want you to be my girlfriend. My feelings for you have never changed since I wrote you that first love letter. This silence. She's gonna say no, isn't she?
I have piano practices, so I won't be able to make time for the two of us much. But if you're okay with that, then yes.
Of course. Besides, I have to study for university entrance exams this year too. But I feel like I'll have motivation if I have you by my side.
Me too. I want to work hard with you by my side too.
After that, Yuba-san and I became a couple. The brief time we spent together during our lunch breaks and after school became the most memorable moments of my high school life. When it was time for exams, we both became extremely busy and stopped seeing each other as much. But our relationship didn't end because of that. Even if we couldn't see each other, we were old-fashioned and had our letters. After graduating high school, we went to different universities and had a mini long-distance relationship. But we were able to get through that too. Oh, there's a letter today too. We sent each other texts, and at the same time, sent handwritten letters. Exchanging these letters was a special communication method for the two of us. Eventually, Ayano and I got married. Ayano became a famous pianist, and there were people who said she was out of my league, but I didn't care about any of that. Our relationship began after I confessed my feelings in a love letter and got turned down. After all, I understood firsthand that I was able to get here because I closed the distance between me and the girl who was out of my league.
Thank you for watching. How was today's video? Please check out our other videos as well.